Hello student, good morning. Hope you all are fit and fine. Today we are going to discuss about History Chapter 1, French Revolution. You know that French Revolution is very important in the world history because it has given many important concepts like liberty, equality and fraternity. In this chapter, we will learn about the causes behind this revolution, three states of French society, political cause, economic cause. Then so many events are responsible for this revolution, that is subsistence crisis, tennis court oath, peasant revolt, storming of Bastille, bread riots. So many philosophical thinkers has given their views on this revolution like Jean-Jacques Rousseau, John Locke, Montesquieu. Consequences, tennis court oath, National Assembly, political changes, social and economic changes, religious changes. Under this National Assembly, we will learn all these three topics. Then we'll learn about the new constitution, age of terror, Jacobins Club, then Directory, Women's Revolution, how women revolted against this, and again age of Napoleon Bonaparte. Now, what is meant by revolution? A recognized momentous change in any situation is known as revolution. We shall see how a people's movement brought about changes in the rule of the France from monarchy to constitutional republic and the rule under Napoleon Bonaparte. So now we'll be studying about the causes of the French Revolution. They are as follows. In this, first is inequalities among classes. Third, state ready to revolt. Soaring national debt. Next is failed economic reform. Soaring food prices. Then bread riots spread. And last is Persian storm the Bastille. The French society was divided into three classes known as states. What is meant by states, children? The society which is divided into different classes, they are calling them as states. Now, under this first state, in this first state, clergy is a group of person invested with special function in the church. They had access to high offices, exempted from paying taxes. Means what? The like father in church. So all these are the high offices one. They assist high offices and they don't have to pay any taxes. Next, second state, in that nobilities are there. Means the rich people. Rich nobles owning lands. Those who are having big piece of lands. They come under this category. They exempted from paying taxes. They also don't have to pay any taxes. Then enjoyed services from peasants obliged to work in house and fields. Means the poor peasants work on their houses and in their houses and on their fields to serve in the army or to participate in building roads. So peasants give their services to these rich people, noble people. They come under in this second state. Now in third state, 98% population come under this third state. That you just see this here. I have given index. In this red color reflecting rich businessmen, merchants, court officials, lawyers, etc. Second, white color is this, that is the peasant and artisans. And last is light pink color, small peasants, landless laborers and servants. They are having more percentage in this 98% of population. Small peasants, landless laborers and servants. So all these are come under the third state. Now first and second state. We just learn about the first and second state. First state, clergy, already I told you, 1% population of the 100% population, 1% are clergy. They control lots of land, operated the schools, aided the poor people, then lived in great luxury, that we are calling this chateux. Chateux means the luxury, big houses they are having. Doesn't have to pay any taxes, tali and tithi, both two types of taxes are there, we'll discuss in coming slides. So they don't have to pay any tax to king, and common people pay tax to king and tithi to church. Tally is the tax, was the tax people have to pay to king, and the tithi is the tax, was the tax people have to pay to church people. Next, second state. In that, nobles, already I told you this, nobles had almost complete authority over peasants. Means they prove their authority. They means all the peasants work under their under them. Then next, nobles did not have to do military services. Nobles were exempted from most taxes. Nobles collected tolls from people using roads and markets. So all these facilities nobles enjoyed, they come under this second state. The third state. Now, already I told you 98% population come under the third state. In that, businessmen, peasants, landless people all come under this category. Workers. Now, sans clotos, we will discuss about this. Workers. Bourgeois means what? Businessmen. They come under this third category. And peasants were forced to do military services. Forcefully, they have to do this military services. Next, peasant could not hunt or fish on noble estate. They are not having any authority in that, any rights. Peasants had to pay taxes to their lord, the king, and the church. Means peasants have to pay taxes, all types of taxes, to their landlords, to the king, and the church people. Peasants had to use the lord's mill, oven, and wine press and pay for them. Whatever things they are using, they have to pay against that. Peasants made up 90% of the population. Now see in this flow chart how division of the French society during 18th century. First state already I told you, clergy. Second state nobility, and third state big businessmen, court officials, lawyers, administrative officials, etc. Small farmers, artisans, very small farmers, laborers, servants. So all these are 98% populations are there in the under this third state. Now third state people have to pay tithi. That this is a kind of tax to the church, and they have to pay tally. That is the direct tax. Tithi is the indirect tax. Tally is the direct tax they have to pay to the government, means king. Now they have to pay nobility people, second state people also taxes, that is the feudal tax to the noble, and indirect tax they have to pay to the government. Okay, so like this, all this tax burden on the third state people only. First and second state people don't have to pay any type of taxes. They enjoy their privileges which they got from their birth. The church levied tithis on the peasant. Tally tax to be paid directly to state. Already I explained all these things in that previous slide in flowchart. Indirect taxes were levied on articles of everyday consumption like salt or tobacco. People have to pay taxes on these necessities like salt and tobacco to the government. That is the direct tax. And the burden of financing activities of the state through taxes was borne by the third state only. So whole burden of these taxes borne on the third state people only. The middle class of the third state. The 18th century witnessed the emergence of social groups termed the middle class. Now 18th century, one group emerged that we call them middle class. These groups steered the revolt against increasing taxes and system of privileges. So this group start protesting against the increasing day by day increasing taxes and the privileges which the first and second state people are enjoying from their birth. So they started protesting against these privileges of the clergy and the nobility. The middle class included merchants, manufacturers, lawyers, administrative officials, etc. All of these were educated and believed that no group in society should be privileged by birth. So these middle class people are the educated one, and they thought that this whatever the privileges first and second state people are enjoying, it is not their right. So no one is having any right to get the privileges by their birth. Rather, a person's social position must depend on his merits. Means according to that, the social position only claim the privileges, not by birth. Political causes. As already I told you that so many causes are responsible behind this French Revolution. Under this, first is political causes. We will discuss the French monarchy, 1775 to 1793. Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette. We will discuss about this. Louis XVI. We will discuss about this Louis XVI in detail now. In 1774, Louis XVI of the Bourbon family of king ascended the throne of France. He belonged from the Bourbon family. At that time, he was only 20 years old and he ascended the throne. He married to the Austrian princess. Her name was Marie Antoinette, who always interfered with the administration. Every now and then she wanted to involve in the administrative process. He ruled as an absolute monarch. Full monarchy he followed. He had maintained a huge army and built a big extravagant court at the immense palace of Versailles, which drained the wealth of France. So he maintained a huge army, very big army he had to maintain, and built an extravagant court, very big court was there at the immense palace. Palace name was Versailles, very beautiful palace, and in that he maintained this Versailles palace, which drained the wealth of France because it was very beautiful. It was very beautiful palace, and maintenance cost is so high. So likewise, France that money drained away in that maintenance. See such a beautiful palace, Palace of Versailles. State General, last 1614. There was a political body known as State General, to which three states sent their representative to discuss contemporary issues. However, the monarch alone could decide when to call a meeting of this body. The last time it was done was in 1614. Each state had one vote, irrespective of the number of representatives. The State General had power to increase the taxes. Means what? In France of the old regime, the monarch did not have the power to impose taxes according to his will alone. Rather, he had to call a meeting of the States General. The State General was a political body to which the three states sent their representative. However, the monarch alone could decide when to call a meeting of this body. The last time it was done was in 1614. As here this picture is there. Last time this meeting held in 1614. So children, the remaining part we will discuss in our next video. Till then, okay, bye.